Welcome to tonight's live stream. I am going to get started in a minute. I just need a minute to promote the stream on tonight's social media. Glad to see you here, Gordon Freeman. What's up, Night Queen PMV1? Glad to see you here. Okay, with with that taken care of, I'm going to quickly go into tonight's perfunctory. Is going to be talking about the first book of the SJS 2022 catalog, and that is ISIS Legacy. Now, ISIS Legacy is available for pre-order on Kindle, and if you want to pick up a paperback version, you can do so by clicking this link in the chat, and you can pick up the 20th book in the ISIS series, and this book celebrates the 10th anniversary of the ISIS series. So I'm asking everybody to pick up a copy of ISIS Legacy on Amazon.com, and I'm getting ready to put it up for pre-order on other online platforms. But for now, you can pre-order it on Amazon and pick up a paperback version of ISIS Legacy. So we're still at 30 pages on John Haynes at Death's Door, the comic, and that should be almost finished once we get finished the last 2 pages of the epilogue and the cover. And I'm hoping to get that Kickstarter out soon. Now, with all of that perfunctory done, I'm going to get into tonight's topic. Now, tonight's topic is all about how easy women give men a hard time. Now, a lot of guys out there, they are always looking for some easy woman, and these guys think that they're going to have a much better time if a woman goes out here and is easy. Now, this is one of the biggest mistakes a lot of your simps go out here and make, is going out here looking for these easy women. Now, these easy women can easily be found at your local little hood clubs or your other places like these little clubs and stuff that women go to. And a lot of simps, they love to go to these places because they want to get the easy yes. And because these men don't have the discipline and resolve to take rejection, what they do is go looking for the easy yes instead of trying to go out here and put in some perseverance to try to find a quality woman to have a relationship with. Now, these guys out here who are looking for easy, they oftentimes think because these women are paying attention to them that things are going to go good because a lot of these guys who want the easy, some of them, they just want to go out here and get the easy sex, and others want to think that they can build a relationship based on things as related to flash and nothing as related to substance. So when you have your guys who are looking for easy, they're not really thinking about the long-term picture as related to relationships. And because these guys aren't looking at the big picture, what happens to a lot of these guys is they have to deal with the consequences of their actions, and these consequences of their actions are why these guys have a hard time later on in their relationships with women. Because the problem isn't that these guys got, it is the women that they got involved with. The problem is starting with them. And the big problem with most of these guys, again, is they are looking for the easy yes. And when they go looking for the easy yes, they wind up not understanding what they are agreeing to. Now, this is a point that I make in my ebook, Misadventures of Captain Save-'em, and you guys can pick up Misadventures of Captain Save-'em on Amazon in paper and Kindle right now. And I also make that point in Stop Simping as well. So both in Stop Simping and Misadventures of Captain Save-'em, I make this point about guys not understanding what they're agreeing to, and they don't understand that when you go in looking for the easy yes, oftentimes you're looking to get that easy yes not on your terms. You're getting it on her terms. So you can get Stop Simping on Amazon as well. But these guys are looking to get the deal on her terms, and a lot of times they're looking for that easy yes on her terms because they are just extremely thirsty. So a lot of thirsty guys, they are just so eager to just hear yes. They're not really going out here and looking at all of the terms and conditions of the deal that they're agreeing to. They will go out here and look for that easy yes, and they're just so happy to get a yes because a yes means that they have a shot at either at getting some attention from this woman, and some possibly think that they're getting a shot at a taste of the atomic waste. So these guys are looking to get that shot early on, and they're not looking at the terms and conditions that they're agreeing to. All they're thinking about is that there possibly is a chance that they can get some sort of attention, and that attention can eventually lead to some sort of sexual access. And this covert contract that these guys make as related to that easy yes, this is what keeps them trying to go along into a situation that is not one that is viable, because these guys, they're just not really good critical thinkers overall. Most of these guys, they are just caught up in their emotions, and because they're caught up in their emotions, they just want something to happen, and they're just happy that things look like they're moving. So that's how these guys get jammed up at later on. But the whole problem is, again, is that they're looking for the easy yes. And part of the reason why they're looking for the easy yes is because a lot of these guys have low self-esteem. And because they have low self-esteem, that's why they are in places where they're looking for easy women, because they don't have the confidence to go out here and go to places where they have to go and actually stand up for themselves. So that's why you'll see a so-called high value man going to the hood club or going to the ghetto fast food place looking for women because he doesn't have the self-esteem or the self-confidence to go out here and pursue women who would possibly be on his level. So that's why he's in these places, because he doesn't believe in himself. And because he doesn't believe in himself, he doesn't want to go out here and look to try to find a actual relationship. No, he's just looking for anybody who will just pay him the first moment of attention. It's glad to see you here, Steve Awalamak. Glad to really see you here on, again, talking about how easy women give a man a hard time. And if you guys want to donate to the Cash App so I can continue making live streams, you can drop a donation to the Cash App. So that's why you get these guys, they're looking again for that easy yes. And once they get the easy yes, they are looking to go out here and do one of two things. Now, some of your beta male simps out here, they think that once they've got the easy yes, they're going to be able to build that easy yes into a relationship. Now, these simps, they think that because, oh, she said yes to me, that things are gonna go good. Now, this guy thinks, oh, she said yes to me, but because he's not looking at the content of her character or assessing the content of her character, he doesn't really know what he's getting into with this woman. He's just thinking, oh, I got a girl paying attention to me, and she said yes, but he's not really going out here and really thinking about, is this woman the right woman for me? A lot of times, these guys, they oftentimes are looking for that attention that they're receiving, and they think just because they're getting attention, things are going good, but things are not going in any sort of good because he has not really set a direction for the relationship. And instead of him leading the relationship, he is being led by the woman. And being led by the woman is not a good thing because, again, when you're having a relationship on her terms, what happens is that you don't know what her terms are because the easy guy, he just immediately is so happy to hear the word yes. He doesn't understand that gives the woman leverage in the relationship that he is trying to build, and he is going to be dealing with her creating terms that are always constantly changing. And as a woman is emotional, she is going to constantly keep changing the terms in order to benefit her. And this is where many of your simps get turned into tricks because they want to continue receiving attention from these women, and because they want to continue receiving attention from these women, what they do is these guys go out here and keep trying to buy her attention and her affection because she now knows that she's got him on the hook as related to the covert contract, and because she's got him on the hook as related to the covert contract, what happens is that she uses this to drive up the price of atomic waste to astronomical levels. And a lot of times when you have a guy who is really naive, like a lot of young, hot and thirsty simps, this is what leads to them going out here and dropping all of this money on some woman and then winding up getting played because he's so eager to get her attention and so eager to think that he's got a shot at a taste of the atomic waste that he's willing to spend all of his money just to get in her face. And as he's looking to spend all of this money to get in her face, he winds up actually putting himself in the position of last place. And the reason why he winds up in the position of last place is because he's looking to put the woman first. And when you put the woman first, she puts you last. And again, this is part of the early stage of getting a hard time. And again, it's all because the simp is looking to go and get with easy women. Because he's looking to get with easy women, he starts to have a hard time. And that hard time is because he puts this woman first, and he's trying to do everything to stay with her because he's trying to take the first offer. That is another mistake that your guys who look for easy women wind up making, is taking the first offer, because you never take the first offer that you get, because taking the first offer just makes you look real desperate. And that's what these thirsty guys do. They make themselves appear to be really desperate because they are so eager to get the yes that they don't understand that there is more power in saying no. Had he gone out here and said no to the first offer, it would show that he has strong discipline and strong character. Unfortunately, many males out here who are simps, they look to go out here and take the first offer, thinking that, oh, if I just say yes right there to whatever she's offering, this is going to make me look strong. But when you are too eager and take the first yes, it makes you look really weak. And a lot of guys, they don't look at the optics of the situation, and they don't understand being too eager is a sign of weakness, not a sign of strength. And again, when you go out here and say yes too quickly, what that again does is make it where you get a hard time, because the easiest woman is sitting there knowing that you are a weak guy, knowing you are too eager, knowing you are too eager for attention. And then she uses this to gain leverage to get herself an advantage as related to things. Now, your guys who are looking for the easy women, they oftentimes wind up not only getting themselves jammed up in the beginning, but they also start to jam themselves up as things are going on. And again, they usually get, this is how they get strung along by some females, because they are looking for easy and not understanding that you're going out here looking for easy is going to lead to you going out here and being turned into a trick. And when you get turned into a trick, you're actually paying high dollars for 99-cent store women. And as you're sitting there paying all this high dollar for a 99-cent store woman, what you're doing is lowering your value as a man. And your value, again, is not economic value. This is value as related to the intangible of your character. And the intangible of your character is something you don't want to go out here and lower the value of, because when you lower the value of your character, what you're doing is telling people that they don't need to respect you. And this is one of the mistakes many of your simps make, lowering the value of their character, thinking that, oh, if I lower the value of my character, it will mean that this woman will further like me. But that's a big mistake, because the whole concept of like is based on emotion, but you lose the intangible of respect. And that's where these guys really start to mess up with these easy women. They look to be liked by the easy woman. And because they're looking to be liked by the easy woman, what happens is they wind up losing the intangible of respect. And the intangible of respect is not one you want to lose, because if you don't have a foundation based on respect, there is no foundation for a relationship. And you have to start laying that foundation for respect as related to the boundaries you establish from day one. And that's another problem that the guy looking for the easy woman makes the mistake of, never going out here and setting any sort of boundaries as related to the relationships that he's involved with women from minute one, because he's really eager to get to the yes. He's willing to sacrifice intangibles, but sacrificing those intangibles, this is what leads to him having a lot of grief later on when he's trying to further build that relationship, because he and goes out here and sacrifices his intangibles of manhood early on. That makes it where there is no foundation of respect, and where there's no foundation of respect, this is where you start to see the foundation for disrespect, because the foundation for disrespect starts with him not setting any boundaries. And when he does not set any boundaries or set any standards for himself, he basically tells everyone that he is somebody who does not need to be respected. And he tells that woman, he sends an indirect message to her that he is somebody she should not regard. Yes, he got the easy yes, but what happens is, because he got the easy yes, what happens is the woman doesn't see him as somebody she wants to have a relationship with. She then sees him as a tool. And because she sees him as a tool, she sees him as a utility to get from point A to point B. And that's basically what she sees that kind of guy as. And then everything, instead of becoming a foundation for a relationship, basically becomes a business transaction. So this is how these guys wind up jamming themselves up early on. Now, this is the other thing that they try to do, is they come out here flashing their money, because again, they have low self-esteem, and they go out here looking to go for the lowest women. And when they go for the lowest women, they're looking to get a cheap deal. Now, the cheap deal they're trying to get in some cases is they're trying to go out here, and some trying to build a relationship with this type of woman because it's easy, and others, they're trying to get into the skid mark thong and get a taste of the atomic waste. And what happens in that case is that guy winds up in a place he doesn't really want to be in. One of the big problems that we have with a lot of these guys who are simps is that, again, they not only want to build a relationship with an easy woman, which is some of the most delusional young ones, but then we have the guys who are whoremongers, and they're looking to go out here and get the easy woman, hoping to get an easy taste of the atomic waste. They're hoping that they can get some bargain basement draws as she drops the skid mark thong by being able to go to these places where the easy women are, hoping that they can go get some easy access to the skid mark thong if they go out here and offer her a plate of a tray of shrimp fried rice and some chicken wings, a supersize at McDonald's, or they would offer them some 2 pieces from Church's Chicken, or if he's really stepping up, she'll get a 3-piece and some potato wedges from KFC. So these guys are hoping that they can go out here and be able to get themselves some easy access to sex by just saying that they're a high value man, taking them to a fast food restaurant and impressing them because they can go out here and order the higher, more expensive items on the menu. And then they're hoping they'll get, and so that once they go out here and buy her some stuff on the menu, they'll get access to the menu of coochie once she steps out of the skid mark thong. Unfortunately, even though these guys will go out here and get their taste of the atomic waste, what happens is they wind up in a really bad place. And the reason why these guys wind up in a really bad place is because they get involved with these kinds of women, again, on their terms. Just because the woman said yes to you and let you get into the skid mark thong does not mean that she's actually doing something good for you. No, this is going to go really bad for you, because what's going to happen is several really horrible outcomes. Now, for the whoremonger, one of the worst outcomes for him for dealing with easy women is the possibility of him catching a venereal disease, because a lot of these whoremonger type simps, they are very thirsty, and all they're thinking about is going out here and get involved with these kind of easy women so that they can go out here and brag to their friends about how they got the draws. And that's the only reason why they aren't getting involved with these kinds of women, is because they want to go out here and say, oh, I got the draws and I want to impress my homeboys. But what happens is he has to deal with the consequences of that. And the consequences of that are that he's going to wind up with a really bad venereal disease, such as your gonorrhea, such as your syphilis. And that's the lucky guys. The more unlucky guys, they're going to wind up with the incurable type VD, like the genital warts or the herpes, or at the worst, HIV. And that's something many of your simps never really think about critically, because they're caught up in their emotions about trying to impress their homies who they're hanging out with. And because they're caught up in trying to impress their homies by saying, oh, I got with the easy woman, they wind up in a situation where they're in a hard time, where there's a possibility that they're going to have to drop their pants and take a shot in the booty at best, or at worst, they're looking at a lifetime of putting on your herpes creams, or you're taking PrEP to deal with HIV. And again, that's all because these guys get caught up in their feelings about trying to get with the easy woman, not understanding that the easy woman is a hard time, because the easy woman is with a lot of other guys, which is another mistake that a lot of guys don't understand about the easy woman. She will give you a hard time because she's not looking to be somebody who wants to have an exclusive relationship with you. And she's not looking to have an exclusive relationship with you because basically she's looking to trade goods and services for whoever will give her whatever she wants. And because she's somebody with extremely low self esteem, she's looking for basically, again, the two-piece dinner from Church's Chicken. She's looking for the shrimp fried rice and the chicken wings, or the half chicken and shrimp fried rice, or she's looking for the um, supersized meal at McDonald's. And because the guy thinks he's getting that atomic waste for a low price, he doesn't understand that that low price means you're going to have to be dealing with a lot of low C guys like your Pookies and your Ray Rays. And as you're sitting there having to deal with Pookie and Ray Ray, who are all thinking that this is their woman, you're sitting there thinking it's your woman too, but the actual reality is that she's not your woman. And basically, you're sitting there waiting for your turn, like a dude in a barbershop waiting to get his fade trimmed up. And that's the other part of a hard time that you're having, is you hoping that this woman will be available, but she's not going to be physically available, and she won't be emotionally available as well. And the reason why she won't be physically available is because she's got a gynocentric harem of emasculated guys. And with that gynocentric harem, she's got all of these guys who she can practically use every day to go out here and have on her roster as the guy who goes out here and gives her rides on the bus, the guy who gives her coffee, the guy who takes her clothes to the cleaners, and basically you're just signing up for another job as a part of that harem. And that's another reason why easy women will give a man a hard time, because she's actually got you on a deal on her terms, and she's looking to find a way to make you one of her lackeys who will go out here and do her dirty work. So she's not seeing you as a person she wants to have a relationship. No, she's looking at you as a tool, and probably looking at somebody who will either go out here and be her Thursday night dinner at Wendy's, or her Friday night lunch at McDonald's, or her Saturday night Chinese food. She's got you on the schedule, And that's all a part of the hard time you're having because you're looking for easy. Easy women give a man a hard time, and easy women lead to a guy winding out here and becoming a part of the gynocentric harem. And in the harem, again, you're waiting for your turn, like the dudes in the barbershop sitting up watching the game, hoping that you'll get a chance to get that fade trimmed up. But the sad part is you're not waiting to get the fade trimmed up. No, you're looking to get a taste of some fish smelling atomic waste, which is basically smelling. That's why the whole place smells like sardines. But the whole thing is you're just this guy because he has no dignity and self-respect. He'll wind up trying to go out here to try to get access to the skid mark thong, and he'll be looking to try to get himself some taste of that sardine smelling atomic waste. And again, that's because this man does not have any sort of self esteem or self worth or any sort of dignity. And because he does not have any sort of self worth, self esteem, or dignity, he's sitting there looking for this woman at the bottom, thinking that everything is going to be easy, not understanding all of the stress he's going through waiting for his turn in this woman's harem, hoping that he will get a shot at a taste of the atomic waste, wasting his valuable time. That's another thing that easy women lead to give a man a hard time. They don't value your time, and they don't value your time because their time is split among other guys who they consider to be a higher priority. And because they see those guys as having higher priority than you, they don't really see a value in being around you. So that's why they're not going to answer any sort of text message almost immediately or answer any calls because they've got a whole roster of guys. And in most cases, they have guys who are higher on the roster than you. Now, a big mistake that a lot of guys who look for easy women make is trying to compete with those other guys to move up the roster. And that is absolutely laughable for a guy to look to go up the roster because the whole thing is your efforts to compete with the other men. This makes you look weaker, not stronger, because a lot of mistakes that these guys make is looking to compete for the easy women, thinking that if I do something, I'll impress her. But she was never impressed by you because in the first 5 seconds of looking at you, she saw nothing but weakness, and she saw how eager you were. And once she saw and felt that eagerness from you, she saw nobody she wanted to respect. So these guys who are getting in the competitions with other men, what they're doing is actually, again, lowering their value with a woman who already doesn't see them as anything valuable because for her, men are tools that she uses. And the whole thing is she knows that the only reason you're there is because you don't have any confidence to go out here and step up and go out here and try to do better for yourself. And that's another mistake that the guys out here looking for the easy women make is they just go out here and they don't look to try to do better. No, they look staying at the bottom because they want to gain easy access to some venereal infested fish smelling crotch. And they're thinking, oh, I'll get a shot at it eventually. I just have to wait my turn. And this is a foolish notion because there are 4 women for every 1 man. And if a man got himself together as related to his internal character, as related to his self-worth and his self-esteem, he could go out here and find himself a woman of character and quality to get involved with. All he has to do is go out here and make an effort to try to do better. Unfortunately, many guys go for the easy yes, hoping for something better to be there. They're hoping that they'll get some sort of bargain or some deal, like the guys who go out here to the auto auctions or the used car lot. they're hoping that they'll find some cream puff, but unfortunately, all they find are lemons because the only thing at the bottom are lemons, and these are broken down, busted down women who have a vagina, which says to be continued on the odometer. So that's what they're out here and then looking for, and that's what they usually wind up getting. See Truth the Revelator, glad to see you here. Computer robots, and everybody else. But see Truth, what I'm talking about is how easy women give men a hard time, and how these guys who look for the easy women wind up with a lot of grief later on. And they always go looking for the easy yes. And unfortunately, when they go looking for the easy yes, they wind up getting disappointed. So that's what I was discussing, and that's what I'm trying to break down for people, because this whole guy, he thinks, oh, these women are bad, but the problem is he's looking for women in the wrong places. And Gabriel makes a good point. Yes, these women will play mind games with these kind of guys because they know that these guys have low self-esteem, and they know that they have the leverage in the relationship. And because they know that they have leverage, that's why they play mind games, because they know that this man has no self-esteem and no self-confidence. And because he's desperate for this woman's attention, and some are just desperate for a taste of the atomic waste, they know that they can string this guy along, and they can go out here and make it where this guy, they know that he's just going to be so desperate that he will practically do anything. And that leads to another thing that leads to a man winding up getting a hard time is those mind games. Those mind games can lead it to where a man winds up having a hard time because he's sitting there getting into all of this drama with this female, and he's getting into this drama with her because he did not set any boundaries. Now, because he wants easy access to the skid mark thong and that sardine atomic waste, he just sits there and has to deal with her starting to play games like crap tests. And because he's so desperate to try to please her, he tries to make her happy. But when he tries to make her happy, all he's doing is leading to himself winding up becoming more miserable, because the whole point of a crap test is to see what this female can get away with. And in many cases, what happens with these guys, because they're so eager and they're so desperate, they wind up failing the crap test by giving in. And once they give in, that is where the woman really starts to play serious games with them. So all of that quest to get an easy yes leads to this man in a place where he's constantly hearing no, and he's worse, he's getting into back and forths, and he's sitting there having to deal with arguments. He's sitting there having to deal with trauma. He's sitting there having to deal with headaches, and that's all because he's looking for the easy yes, not understanding that if he just said no and walked away, he would actually be in a better place overall. So, I'm asking you guys to hit me up on the Cash App. That would be greatly appreciated. And I'm still going to continue going on with tonight's stream. But that, again, the mind games are the worst part of it at all, because you're dealing with a lot of stress. You're dealing with a lot of drama. You're dealing with all this stuff because, oh, she said yes to you, but you don't have the confidence to understand that if you charged this difficult woman to the game, you would be a lot further ahead over things. But the whole thing is that these guys, they're so scared of losing what they got that they're afraid to let her go. And that's another problem with the guy who's looking for the easy woman. He's afraid to let go once he gets a yes. He's afraid because, again, he doesn't have that self-esteem or that self-confidence in himself to say, look, I can let this woman go, and I can go deal with somebody who actually wants to deal with me. No, because he doesn't have any confidence in himself, he winds up thinking that he has to settle for less, and he thinks he has to hold on to a substandard woman who does not meet any of his standards for values, doesn't meet any standards for character, and does not want to go out here and try to work with him, No, she will go out here. She's not looking to cooperate with the man. She basically sees him as somebody she just is using to move from point A to point B. And that's another problem with the guy who's looking for the easy woman. He doesn't understand that this woman does not want to cooperate. And because he's looking to try to buy her cooperation with money, and what happens is he doesn't get any cooperation, and that's because she just keeps driving up the price. And she drives up the price because she doesn't see him as somebody she respects, and she doesn't respect him because he doesn't start out early on setting boundaries, and he didn't start come out early on taking the lead because he followed the woman. He doesn't get any cooperation, and he doesn't get any cooperation because he's doing everything by her terms. And because he's doing everything by her terms, she doesn't need to cooperate with him because she's the one in the driver's seat. And as she's the one in the driver's seat, he's the one who's a passenger. And that's how she goes out here and takes this fool for a ride. And as he's being taken for a ride, he's thinking, oh, things are going good. Things are going great. But things aren't going anywhere at all because he never set any sort of tone or any sort of direction. And because he didn't set a tone or any direction for any type of relationship he was getting involved with, what happens is this is how he winds up getting an extremely hard time from this woman who will go out here and participate in manipulating him and getting him involved in situations where he gets himself jammed up. And she'll play all sorts of crazy games, like telling him about ex-boyfriends, telling him about guys doing her dirty. And this is how he winds up in one of the worst situations, trying to fight another dude. And this is another situation that the guy with the easy woman winds himself up getting jammed up into, is calling himself going out here trying to fight other dudes. Now, this is something, if a woman respects you, she will not have you going out here doing, because her actions reflect on you. And if she respects you, she is not going to want to do things that make you look weak or make you look bad. And she knows that if you look bad, she looks bad. But the predatory female, she will go out here and want you to go out here and get involved in these kind of fights, because what she wants to do is pull a crap test on you and have you sent out here to do dirty work. Now, in extreme cases, some of these women, what they will do is they will have you out here and they'll send you to go do some sort of criminal behavior, and they'll have you like those guys on Snapped. They'll send you to be the hitman to kill an ex-boyfriend, or they'll send you to go out here and take out an ex-husband. And what will happen is that, again, this is another easy woman looking to give you a hard time that will eventually lead to you getting some hard time. And that hard time means that you could be spending 25 years to life in prison, where you're dealing with Bubba and Tiny, and they are spit roasting you, or they are trading you for some ramen noodles, some Little Debbie snack cakes, some cans of Dr. Pepper. That could be your fate if you're just that dumb of a simp to go out here and think, oh, I'll go do some dirty work for this female who, again, if she respected you, she would not have you out here talking about taking out some other guy. No, she would be out here looking to deal with that business on her own. And in fact, if she really did respect you, she wouldn't even talk to you about said stuff, and she would try to work that stuff out herself. But when you're easy women, a lot of times they get involved in a lot of shady business. And that's another thing that guys out here really don't understand. These women at the bottom, they're into some shady stuff. They're the ones involved with the dope dealers. They're the ones involved with the gang members. They're the ones involved with the thugs. And they'll send you out here to go do some dirty work to some guy as one of their crap tests. But the whole thing is, she's not looking out for your safety. And that's another way your easy woman can give a man a hard time, sending you out here again to do dirty work against these low C dudes who she's gotten involved with. when they go out here and they're involved with all of these criminal type guys, they'll go find themselves a nice big juicy simp, send him out here to do her dirty work, and then once the simp gets himself jammed up, then they act like they never even knew you or never even saw you. And that's happened to many simps out here who have gone out here looking for an easy yes. They wind up in a situation where they get so jammed up that they're looking at doing some serious time. And they never, what's really interesting about a lot of those guys is they never get any taste of the atomic waste. No, they get a man who goes into their booty space. So a lot of these guys, they get strung along as to a promise of getting under the skid mark thong. And the only thing that winds up is they wind up becoming somebody who has to wind up squashing the skid mark out of Bubba or Tiny's drawers inside of cell block D because they went on the word of a woman whose character was very low. And because they went out here looking for this low character woman, they wind up in a situation where they wind up in a hole. And that happens to a lot of these guys. Again, looking for an easy woman, but that easy woman leads to them doing some hard time. And that's not a situation you want to be in because you want to go out here and get, again, some taste of the atomic waste, but then all you're sitting there is in a prison space hoping that somebody will give you a Little Debbie snack cake or a fudge round. I mean, that's not a place you want to be. And a critical thinking man is going to try to not want to deal with those kinds of women. But a lot of young, gullible, naive simps, they will sit there thinking, oh, an easy deal is a better deal. But an easy deal usually turns into a raw deal. And an easy deal turns into a raw deal because this woman knows that she's going to get the advantage in the situation, and she's going to take advantage of a guy in any situation. Now, the worst situation that guys who are looking for easy women wind up in is when they go out here and get these easy women pregnant. Now, these guys, they're sitting up there bragging about how they got the draws, and some of them are talking about how they went in raw, but it's going to get raw for them once this woman then sees that this guy is in some cases making good money, and she's going to see him as a gravy train. And that's when she's going to start participating in ratchet behavior like poking holes in the condom or going out here and even asking for no rubbers at all. And what she's going to do is use that situation to get herself pregnant so that she can get herself a payday at your expense. Because this woman, she's looking to go out here and get on easy street by giving you a hard time in family court. And that's the worst situation you could wind up in, is where you're in family court and this woman is getting 75 to 80% of your paycheck in child support, and you're sitting there trying to eat out of a can of Heinz vegetarian beans for the week. And you're living with mama because you can't afford to pay your own rent because she's got 75% to 80% of your money. And as she's going out here buying some scrimp fried rice and living a high off your money and spending it on other dudes, you're sitting there in your mama's house eating some Heinz vegetarian beans and looking like a fool. One of the worst situations a easy woman can put a man into is becoming where she's pregnant and becomes a baby mama, because once she becomes a baby mama, that's when you're on the hook not only for child support, but you're also on the hook for all of that stress that you're going to be dealing with for the next 18 years. So for the next 18 years, you are going to be dealing not only with most of your money being taken out of your check, you're also going to be having to deal with baby mama drama. And the great irony is that while you were courting this woman, you could barely get her on the phone. But once she becomes a baby mama, you're going to constantly be getting your phone blown up, and you're constantly going to be having to deal with this woman constantly talking to you talking about why don't you do something about your kids? You need to come get your kids. You need to go get these kids and deal with them. And that's what happens when you get involved with an easy woman. She will just go out here and make your life miserable for the next 18 to 20 years. And you're sitting there hoping, wishing, and praying for the end. But that all happened because you wanted to go get easy, not understanding easy women always lead to a hard time. And the worst time you could ever have is dealing with baby mama drama. Baby mama drama is the ultimate worst case scenario as related to dealing with easy women. And this is something that not only happens to your entertainers or your NBA players, it oftentimes happens to average working class guys who are out here looking to try to get with the easy woman. And they're looking to get with the easy woman because they don't want to go out here and put in the work on themselves, or they don't want to go out here and put in the work as related to raising their standards. No, they're looking to go out here and looking to try to get an easy woman, hoping to get some notches in their belt, or hoping to have a relationship with a woman who they think will be more cooperative. And this is a big mistake some guys make, is thinking, oh, if I go over here to the easy group, I'll be able to get a better chance at a relationship. But the whole thing is, there's a reason why these women are in the easy section, and that reason is not one that's positive. No, the women who are in the easy section, yet they're there and they're easy to get, but the whole thing is they're easy to get because most men who have been around them or involved with them understand they're going to have a hard time dealing with them. And they're in the easy section because any man of character knows that that's not somebody you want to deal with, and they know that that's not somebody they want to deal with. And she knows that she cannot really get the attention of men who are of quality and quality character, and she can't get the attention of those men who are of quality and quality character because she's an easy woman. And as an easy woman, she does not have any sort of respect for herself or any sort of self-worth. And just to be with her is one big headache. And that's why those guys leave her in the easy section, because they understand it. While it's easy and you're going to get an easy yes, they don't want to deal with any of the grief. That's why they're eager to just say no, because they know that there's no, it's just not worth all of the stress, all of the drama, all of the grief dealing with this easy woman. And they don't want to deal with that easy woman because they just don't want to deal with the hard time that they're going to have to deal with her. So a lot of guys, they understand that, yes, it's easy in the beginning, but it gets a lot harder when you're dealing with this kind of woman. And again, relationships have a lot of hard times in them. Sometimes you have rough days, sometimes you have easy days, some have rough days and tough days. And then sometimes you have times where you don't even want to deal with this kind of woman. But the whole thing is with the easy woman, yes, things will go nicely in the beginning, but then they turn into a nightmare much later on. And that is why guys walk away from the easy woman, the guys who have self-esteem and self-worth and value themselves, because they know that sometimes it's just not worth taking the first yes. Sometimes it's just better to deal with a lot of no than to hear an easy yes, because sometimes it's just better to just take the whole lot of no's and then finally get involved with a quality woman that says yes, rather than deal with the easy woman who says yes. And then you're dealing with a lot of no later on. And you're not only dealing with a lot of no later on, you're dealing with a lot of headaches. You're dealing with a lot of drama. You're dealing with a lot of games. And you're dealing with a lot of crap tests and a lot of other nonsense. And as you're dealing with all of this nonsense, it's just stressing you out, and it's giving you anxiety, and it's just not worth having to deal with all of that stress and anxiety and having to deal with all of those nightmares. So A lot of guys understand that, okay, she's saying yes, but the whole thing is they start to think critically about what they are saying yes to, who they are saying yes to, and what they're agreeing to. That's what a critical thinking man does when he's having a conversation with a woman before he entertains any offer she makes him. He's listening to who she is, listening to what she's saying about herself, and then watching her actions and seeing how those actions define her character. So he's sitting there assessing whether or not it's a good thing to get involved with this woman. Unfortunately, we have a lot of thirsty guys who are looking to just get an easy yes, and they're not really thinking critically about those situations. And because they're not thinking critically about those situations, what happens to those guys is, because they're looking for the easy yes, they wind up in a situation no man really wants to be involved in. And everybody feels for that poor guy who is involved with the woman who has the easy yes, because what happens to those guys is, while they get a chance to get into the skid mark thong, or they get some taste of that sardine smelling atomic waste, they wind up getting themselves in a situation where they get jacked up. And some of these guys, in the best case scenario, they're jacked up with VD. Other ones are just jacked up and they're winding up in a situation where they possibly wind up in prison with Bubba and Tiny. And a few, they just wind up in a situation where they're jacked up for the next 18 to 21 years, stuck in a living hell with a woman who is a nightmare, and they're sitting there in misery in the company of a toxic female, all because they wanted to get an easy yes. And again, easy oftentimes lead to a hard time. It's sort of like the difference between going to the 99-cent store and going to Target. Some people go to the 99-cent store looking to go out here and get something cheap. And what happens is, yes, they get something cheap early on, but then later on, that item that they got so cheap winds up breaking on them. But if that person had gone to Target and picked up a quality item, they would have that item for several years and it would not break on them. This is something many of the guys out here looking for easy don't really understand, that sometimes you're going out here looking for easy and you're looking for cheap. And the whole thing is, you pay for cheap, and a lot of times you wind up paying more for cheap than if you went out here and got with quality. And that's the thing that a lot of guys need to understand about getting involved with easy women. Yes, they are cheap and easy to deal with, but the whole thing is, you're going to have to wind up having to deal in a situation where you're stuck with someone who is breaking your mind and breaking your spirit. That is the whole disadvantage of getting involved with easy women, is they wind up breaking your spirit. They wind up breaking your mind with their games, their manipulations, their crap tests, all of that stuff. It just really messes you up, and it really puts you in a bad situation. Yeah, prayer de panta. Yeah, they will mess up your libido. Yes, they will, because these women will emasculate you and verbally abuse you. Yes, they will throw it all completely off and have you just practically impotent, because you're sitting there again dealing with all this stress, and it throws you completely off. So again, easy woman leads to a hard time, and in some cases they keep you from getting hard altogether. And Jerobi makes a good point. Yes, we can throw some of these dating coaches and gurus into the simp category, because a lot of these guys are simps, and a lot of their advice really doesn't help guys, because all their advice does is has you targeting easy women. And that's what the dating coaches and gurus want to get with, is easy women. But they're not looking for a woman who is of quality and character. They're just looking to get with the easy woman, hoping to get into the skid mark thong, hoping to get a taste of the atomic waste. But what happens is, those guys wind up getting a lot of these guys jammed up in situations where they wind up having a hard time. And the whole thing is, life is too short to wind up putting yourself in situations where you're looking for easy. You may as well take the time out of your life to put the work in and go out here and step up, because if you step up, you might be able to have an opportunity at a relationship with a woman of character, and you may be able to build a relationship with a woman of character. It's just better to just put in that work in whatever you're doing in life and step up your game. Because if you step up your game and go out here and put in the work, you can do better than the easy level. I mean, yes, the whole thing is, yes, it's easy, but the whole thing is you're really selling yourself short. The whole thing is that's another problem that guys who look for easy women do, is they sell themselves short and they don't wind up with the best, and they wind up getting involved with people who give them nothing but stress. So they're sitting there. They could do better if they just took a minute to take a look at themselves, an examination of who they were. They could go out here and do a lot better. But the reason why they're doing so poorly is because they don't believe in themselves. And because they don't believe in themselves, they go out here and settle for less instead of trying to get the best. Now, I put all these details in my book, Stop Simping, and you can pick that book up on Amazon in paperback. And the whole thing is, I see so many guys, again, thinking, oh, I'll go get the easy woman, that this will be a good deal. But this always turns out to be a raw deal that winds up messing up a lot of guys. And again, these easy women, they have all sorts of gimmicks and all sorts of tricks that make them appear flashy. But the whole thing is, for all of their flash, it really doesn't help, because they don't have much substance. And once you get tired of dealing with the gimmicks and the flash, you really start to see that there's nothing really there as related to this woman's character. And that's something many of those guys who wind up here getting involved with the easy women eventually find out, that, oh, I got involved with this easy woman, and now all she's got are gimmicks and tricks. And once the gimmicks and tricks wear thin, they get tired of this woman, and they really see that there's no direction as related to a relationship. So they get involved with the easy woman, and they wind up in a place where this person is basically showing you that they're a one-trick pony, and outside of that atomic waste that they're offering, they bring nothing to the table in terms of values and character. And again, that's another reason why you don't want to go to the easy section, because this woman is not anybody who is looking for the challenge of a relationship, and she's not looking to try to help this man become a better man of character, or looking to help improve the quality of life. So that's what happens in a lot of cases as related to your guys looking for easy women. They just they just wind up with you sitting in a situation where you're in an empty place, and it's just not a good place for you to be. Because again, a woman is not, as a helpmeet, is supposed to help you and help you try to become a better man, and it's supposed to help you develop things as related to, as you work together towards building in a relationship. And easy women don't really help you build anything. In fact, all they do is keep you in the same place. And once they keep you in the same place, you're basically going nowhere. And that's another problem, because she wants to go nowhere because she's afraid to go out here and step out. And that's why she's staying on the easy level. And most of the guys who are on the easy level don't really understand that there's no way to have a direction for a relationship with an easy woman. And there's no way to set any direction, because she doesn't want to go anywhere, because she's scared she won't be able to get access to the simps at the bottom who are a part of the harem. So many of those women, again, never wanted to get married in the first place, because they're easy, and they're looking for some simps to form a harem that they can go out here and have them taking her to work in their ride, going out here being her food guy, going out here being her hair guy, being her nails guy, being her weave guy. And all of these guys are getting into that, are going for the possibility of getting a taste of the atomic waste. And that basically means that this woman's crotch is an 8-lane highway where she's giving away more rides than Coney Island. And sadly, many of your guys out here, they want to take a ride on the Cyclone that they're getting on, not understanding that that ride on the Cyclone is going to be very traumatic for them. And that is a mistake that they make. Again, going for easy, not understanding how hard easy can be. And easy is just not something you want to deal with at all. And that's why any man who values himself is not going on the easy level. No, he's going to just step up his game and take himself to another level because he doesn't want to deal with easy. Even though easy is offering a taste of the atomic waste, he knows he can go to a place where season is not the reason why this woman smells like sardines. So this is something that a lot of guys really need to understand about, dealing with the easy woman. The easy woman should not be anybody's first choice, and the easy woman is not somebody you should be looking to deal with, because easy women, yes, they are easy in the beginning, but you're going to have a hard time later on dealing with this kind of woman, because later on you're going to be in a nightmare that you wish you had never gotten into. So I'm gonna ask everybody to pick up a copy of Isis Legacy on Amazon.com. Just briefly, asking everybody to pick up a copy of Isis Legacy, and you can pick that up by. Thank you, Soul Survivor, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. I'm glad to see you here. So you guys can pick up Isis Legacy by clicking the chat, and you can donate to the Cash App. So not over yet with this stream. I still got a little bit more I want to talk about. But I'm talking about how these easy women give a man a hard time. And I've seen guys get hard times because they look for easy women. And the easy women, they just make your life a nightmare. And you would just be a lot better off if you just put in some work on yourself. I mean, if you just went to the gym, or you went out here and worked on a project that you were doing and worked on your goals, you could put yourself in a much better position where you're not dealing with stress and anxiety and dealing with, oh, I'm calling and she's never anywhere around, or I'm calling and I'm dealing with all sorts of things. There's a whole lot that goes into this thing. And the whole thing is that they're sitting there looking for the easy. And I see too many guys looking for easy, like a lot of people look for the high value man. They're looking for easy over there. Because I look at the guys with the high value man, they're sitting there, oh, I want to go out. I have all this high value. Well, why are you on the level with the easy women if you're high value? That's a critical question I have to ask a lot of guys out here who are a part of that high value group. Why are you looking for easy and then complaining about how bad the situation is? Those of us who know the whole situation with easy is nothing but hard, we understand that, look, it's just not worth the time to deal with easy. But there are guys out here looking for easy. And there are also guys who, as related to the gimmicks, they think, oh, I'll go overseas and I'll find easy. But what you find over there is the same hard time that you got in America. That's another thing about the easy guys. They're looking for easy wherever they can go. They're looking for an easy yes wherever they can go. Unfortunately, looking for easy yeses lead to hard times, not only here, but also lead to high problems abroad. So a lot of these guys, they're sitting here thinking, oh, things will be much better if I go to the easy section. But the easy section is where every guy has gone, and the only guys who go to the easy section are simps and whoremongers. Simps go there because they don't have the confidence to go out here and step up their game, and whoremongers go there looking for easy lays so they can add notches to their belt. And as they're looking to add those notches to their belt, they're just looking for women to use. So that's what your guys are out here on the easy level. Any other guy who has self-esteem and self-worth understands you don't want to deal with the easy woman, because the easy woman is a hard time. The easy woman is a nightmare, and the easy woman is nothing but stress. And you don't need all that stress in your life when you're already dealing with a lot of stress on your job. And if you own a business, you're dealing with a lot of stress. So you don't need all of that pressure and stress on yourself. And that's why guys don't want to deal with easy women, because easy women lead to headaches. Easy women lead to drama. Easy women lead to strife and struggle. And easy women are just a headache. And that's why most men don't want to deal with an easy woman. The only guys who want to deal with easy women, again, are those who are naive like a simp, or a whoremonger who is just desperate and looking for easy sex. Computer Robot says, see what he said earlier. Do I know Richard Cooper and the high value mindset? Well, I have to look into Richard Cooper to learn more about him. But the whole thing is that, you know, a lot of these guys who are in the high value, they have low self-esteem, and they're sitting there, they put themselves in bad situations because they just look for easy. And again, they're looking for easy because they don't understand that sometimes it's just better for a man to say no to an easy yes, because when he says no to an easy yes, that shows other women that he has character, and it puts him on their radar. And when those women see him saying no, that says that he has value of self, and that value of self attracts more quality women to him. That's something a lot of the guys who are going for the easy yes don't understand. Sometimes when you say no to a woman, it's something that turns on other women, and it makes those women say, okay, this guy values himself, so I'm not going to go out here and deal with somebody who doesn't value themselves. And if I show value in myself, I can attract somebody who will see me as valuable. That's all part of having self-esteem and having standards about yourself. Is you're not going to settle for less. And that's what the guy who goes out here looking for easy women does, is he settles for far less than he can get. Because again, in a world where 4 women for every 1 man, a man can go out here, and if he has some sort of self-esteem or self-worth, he can go out here and do better than an easy woman. So I'm going to get ready to wrap up tonight's stream, and then I'm working hard for some weekend book sales. So I'm asking everybody to pick up the first book on the SJS Direct 2022 catalog, ISIS Legacy, which is on Amazon.com in paperback. And I'm trying to get the sales up on ISIS Legacy. So I'm asking everybody to pick up a copy of ISIS Legacy, the 20th book in the ISIS series, and the book that celebrates the 10th anniversary of the ISIS series in print. And I'm asking everybody to come out here and please pick up a copy of ISIS Legacy. Oh, no, I hit the wrong button. I'm sorry, that's the Cash App. But still, you guys can hit up the Cash App. And fix this. Asking everybody to pick up a copy of ISIS Legacy, and that's something that would really help with the SJS Direct 2022 sales. And I'm asking everybody to please pick up some other books on the SJS Direct imprint that I believe that will definitely help everybody out, like Stop Simping, Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance, Misadventures of Captain Save'em, which is on Kindle and Kindle Unlimited. If you have Kindle Unlimited, you can read Misadventures of Captain Save'em for free. And I have other men's issues books like The Man Crisis, and I think I'm about 2 chapters away from finishing the first draft of The Woman Crisis. It's been a hard 2 months doing research and trying to make sure everything is refined, but I think I've got this book where I want it to be for the first draft. So The Woman Crisis will be coming later in 2022, and that's a book that deals with a lot of the issues to why many of these women out here are acting dysfunctional and believing things like the easy paradigm are out here are good things to do. But an easy woman, again, for most men, is nothing but a hard time. So I want to thank everybody for coming out here to tonight's stream. I'm hoping you'll pick up some of the books. Cancel Vacation sales, they are all right. They're just kind of slow. compared to other books. So I'm asking people to pick that book up too. But I have another Easteen book coming out, but that's just, and I'm hoping to try to get some more sales on it. So I'm asking everybody to pick up some of the books on the SJS Direct imprint because it helps out with the keeping the channel on the air and keeping me being able to keep going. So I'm asking everybody to please pick up Cancelication or ISIS Legacy because that helps out the channel greatly, or to hit a Cash App. But I want to thank everybody for coming out to tonight's stream, and I really appreciate you guys coming out and spending time with me, and I hope you'll be there for next week's stream. Have a good night and have a great weekend.